Yeah, should be all set. All right, we're live.
All right, I'm so excited. Woo.
Word. All right, we're ready to go. You ready to go, Coach?
Yes, I'm in my I'm in my comfy, and I'm ready to
comfy?
go. Yeah,
All right.
I'm freaking freezing in this house. With our cheapness. It's like we're back to no heat till trick or treat days.
That's right. All right, ready to go?
Mhm.
All right, let's do it, boys and girls. We are live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? Here we go. Episode 17 2.0. We're redoing the Thursday episode that was god awful
Why?
because it was terrible.
You should still post it if it sucks.
No, I will, but this is episode 17 2.0.
Oh, we're not
Just-
on episode 18 yet.
No, we're not ready for episode 18. That's a big step for us. Alright, so here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here. We're live. It is a Monday, the start of a new week, May the 10th. We got the coach over here on my left in the catcher's mitt. Mr. Max is sleeping. Producer Prez is back behind the camera.
Yay!
Thank God we have a decent producer to make sure our live stream is working for our YouTube viewers. And Nibs is sleeping on the ottoman, and we're off and running on the Monday after Mother's Day. Coach, how was your Mother's Day this year?
It was fantastic.
Yeah, did you have a good day?
It was a great day.
We got
because-
those lovely flowers in the background. I see very nice flowers.
Do you like my Mother's Day
Yes,
flowers?
the Mother's Day flowers are gorgeous.
I'm so happy. Well, it was Presley's birthday too yesterday.
Yes. Producer Prez has turned 16 years old. He's getting ready for his permit test. Producer Prez, how was your birthday yesterday? I know you had to share it, but how was it?
It was still fun. It was nice, like relaxing with everyone.
Well, we had breakfast in bed.
Yes, you did. I
So
missed that.
Presley
thank
and
God.
I-
But yes, how was your breakfast in bed?
It was fantastic, even though Max came running over and started licking all our food before we could even taste it.
Unbelievable.
I know,
On the
we
bed?
saw it 'cause- yes, all of a sudden he just came running. Like the tray was coming and he just went running. It was like,
And licked all over it?
yeah.
All
Max
over.
is a bad dog.
He
Max
is
was a bad
funny.
dog when he ran into the woods yesterday, too.
Yeah, he was totally
sprinted right into the
disrespecting
woods,
Dad.
and everybody was yelling for him to come back. And look at him. He doesn't even care.
He was barking for like 10 minutes because we have a giant rabbit in our backyard now.
Mhm.
So I call him Benjamin Bunny because he's really fresh and big and fat. And
Oh, yeah?
I love him though. But Max was barking at him today and he didn't care. Benjamin Bunny was like, whatever. And I was
Yeah.
like, do I need to be like Mr. McGregor and come after you, Benjamin Bunny?
I love it. Nibs didn't care about the bunny?
Hot Shot was in bed feeling depressed because Presley left for school.
Poor Nibs.
Yeah.
Old man Nibs. So, Coach,
What?
any other exciting news you want to share with the viewers?
Oh,
Are we ready?
I don't know. I'm so nervous. I'd rather wait till I
So nervous.
I am.
Unbelievable. Coach, it's all over the internet.
Well, okay, so we got an offer, a good offer.
Yep.
So we agreed to the offer, but we have the home inspection this week.
This week.
Yes.
What day?
I have to even give a day? I have to give details?
Well,
This is too
if the Brantford
nerve-wracking.
paparazzi is going to come and show up and take pictures of the horror that is the Villa family.
Oh, I'm so.
Can you believe it?
I'm just a
How's it
nervous
feel?
wreck. It feels like I'm gonna have a heart attack every single minute of the day. That's what it feels
So
like.
you don't feel relieved now that we're on to the next phase? You feel more stressed than you were when we were selling? Or
Well, now, like I
That's-
explained to Dad, we're gonna be homeless if we don't find another place to live.
Well, right, yes. So, Coach, is it safe to say that you're ready to go down to Florida? Are you ready to
Yes.
become a Floridian?
Yes, well, I'm always going to be a native New Yorker. But then I
Yeah.
started becoming a nutmegger.
Yes, you
And
did start
then,
becoming
you
a
know,
lawmaker. But then Joe Biden won. And it all went down
Not
the
only
toilet.
that, but COVID. I can't take all the COVID idiots around here.
Mm.
I just can't. I mean, they will sign away every liberty for safety.
They will.
And I'm sorry. I can't hang with that shit.
So
That's
you're done.
what I have the biggest problem with. Is that
Really?
people will just sign up. They'll just sign over all their rights if they think that it's going to keep them safe and secure. And
Yeah.
you know that wasn't how I was raised. I was raised by a hippie.
Yeah.
You know, my dad was a hippie, and he used to always be like, "Watch out for the man. Don't trust the government." You know.
You know, it's weird. I feel like a lot of those hippies went from don't trust the government is awful, to give everything to the government.
My
It's the
father, if
only
he was
way.
alive, would not be that way.
So do you think your dad Grandpa McGivitt was a Democrat, do you think he would have
Huge
switched over?
Democrat.
Do you think he would have been a Trump guy?
I think he would have supported Trump in terms of the fact that Trump got rid of all those small business regulations, and I think he would have completely supported that.
Yeah.
Because his biggest problem with the government was how they need to micromanage every single thing. And he didn't like that, you know. I mean, just to make money, you gotta like pay off the government,
Yeah.
right? And it's just, you know, you're the one, you know, with the blood, sweat, and tears working, trying to get a business going, and having the sleepless nights, the anxieties, and the government is just not supportive of small businesses.
It's not.
And Trump
it hasn't
was.
been for a while.
Trump was very supportive. Do you know what I watched last night that
What did
actually
you
made
watch?
me feel better?
What is this?
The Swamp on HBO.
Oh yeah, I went on the HBO Max. Like, was it one of those? New
It
series
was
or
on
something?
Amazon, and it
Okay.
was like HBO
Right.
with your subscription.
Yes.
So the movie was called The Swamp, and guess who it starred?
Who did it star?
Matt Gates.
Matt Gates, really?
Matt Gates was the star of the movie.
Matt Gates acquitted Matt Gates?
Oh,
Free-
Matt
free of
Gates
charge
that,
Matt Gates?
thanks for O'Keefe from
Yep.
Project Veritas, saved his ass.
He did.
That-
Project Veritas
it-
saved Matt Gates.
I have to say, watching Matt Gates, and he is fine, Matt
So,
Gates.
you know what's funny is, and Presley will know about this because Prez, if so, just a quick plug real quick because this is actually an interesting story that I've been waiting to tell you guys. So Prez, a while back, probably a couple months ago, joined an organization called Young Americans for Liberty.
Yes.
So yeah, all Young Americans for Liberty reached out to me about 3 weeks ago and asked if I wanted to join Young Americans for Liberty, and I knew Prez was a member, so I was like, yeah, sure, I'll join. I'll donate the $10 and join the Young Americans for Liberty group. So anyway, so you know, people were consistently texting me. They were texting me about you know, spreading it to college students and whatnot. And they were. And long story short, yesterday a girl reached out to me and said, "You're invited to come to some convention
In Orlando.
in Orlando." Do you know what I'm talking about? The revolution.
Yeah, it's like the big convention thing
So
in
I was
Orlando.
invited to go to the convention.
What is it?
It's
I think it's in July.
I think it's either July or August. But guess who's speaking at this convention?
Matt Gates, my
Gates.
boy!
And Rand Paul.
And Rand Paul, and I think DeSantis is speaking as well, isn't he?
I'm
you
not
guys
sure.
have to go.
I
And
think
then
he's speaking there.
You guys have to go. You can't miss that.
So I was invited to go. So it looks like I'm going to be going.
Well, you
In
should pick up
Orlando.
Press. You could always pick him up and drive.
I'm not driving from Pensacola to Orlando.
It's only 6 hours.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. It's
Check
6
that.
hours. Check
Producer
Press.
Press, check that. Scott Villard yesterday in the car told me it was 9 hours.
Is it 9 hours? I thought it was 6 hours.
What is it?
Let's see. Hold on. I have to do
We're
Orlando.
getting a quick check here from Pensacola, Florida, which is on the Panhandle, to middle of Florida in Orlando.
Orlando.
That's a long drive.
6
though.
hours and 21
Oh.
minutes.
Told you.
So it's not too terrible.
It
I don't
isn't
know.
that bad. I actually Googled it because Olivia right away. Like, you know how you have to negotiate
Yeah, but I
with
could
your
do
kids.
a nice quick flight from New York right to Orlando like that. The press could take a quick flight too from Pensacola. You could probably take a helicopter if you wanted to.
I don't know. I don't know if they have helicopters. Google it, Press. See if you
I
can
wonder
do a
if they could,
helicopter
if you could
ride.
like a helicopter from the Panhandle to Orlando. Lauren might go with me.
I think that would be great, but to see Matt Gates. So,
Yeah.
Matt Gates, right? Olivia's watching and she goes, "That's going to be our new congressman? He's hot."
Yeah, a lot of other 17-year-old girls said that too.
No, they didn't. But anyway, one thing that I find interesting is I said I'm going from Rosa DeLauro
Who's
to
an
Matt
absolute
Gates.
clown who belongs in Ringling Brothers. And
I don't know.
Yeah.
Rosa DeLauro. She's a smoke show. Rosa.
Rosa Presley.
Like a shit show.
World's worst
That's
enemy.
what she is.
Rosa hates Pres Villa.
Oh, she does.
Hates me. Hates Dad.
Well, I'm
You got
sure
a
she
lot of-
wouldn't like me if she watched a podcast. But
No.
I told Gabe, I said, look at me. I said, who do you think should be my representative? That clown, Rosa DeLauro, who can't even get an outfit together?
Yeah.
Or someone like Matt Gates, who has
Can you believe
integrity?
that she speaks on Capitol Hill looking like she hangs out with Bello the Clown?
She does look like, it's like the circus is in
Like,
town when
for
Rosa
real.
shows
Like,
up.
how can you be a professional politician and represent a community when you go out and you look like you're Bella the Clown,
Did
like
you
relatives of Ringling
When
Brothers.
Kamala Harris came into Tweed and Rosa was with her, Rosa had on like purple tights,
Yep.
pink shoes.
Fucking
Like I was
awful.
like, ding,
It
ding,
was
ding,
awful.
ding, 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 ding. I was so disgusted. I was like, this bitch does not represent me.
Yeah.
She's disgusting.
I 100%
And
agree
she's
with you.
just completely unprofessional. Then she was a liar because she was the Grand Marshal of the Columbus Day Parade
And then
then
tore
didn't.
down the Columbus statue.
I mean, she's such a
What a
piece
smack
of.
in the face to Italians that was, huh?
Yeah, it really was. Well, I gotta tell you, Matt Gaetz, I don't agree with everything he says, but I have to say, even Gabriel said watching that movie, he goes, wow, this guy does have integrity, I have to say. He does, you know.
He owns
is
it.
who he is.
He owns
So-
what he says.
You know, like, they get mad at him for, like, listen, I totally believe the guy was in orgies, I'm not gonna lie. But the whole point is that he's
some
not a
people are into that
bullshit.
stuff.
Well, he's not a bullshit artist. He's not like Clinton getting married, having the fake wife, the family, but then going and having sex with everything. He's like,
Yeah.
listen, I want to have orgies. I'm not getting married. He's 38 years old. He's, you know, fooling around with people, but now he's engaged. I guess they told him, listen, you want to...
Really? You got engaged? Must have
Yeah.
been a quick turnaround, huh? Quick turnaround.
Well, I think somebody had to talk with him. Like, listen, you're 38 years old.
Ron must
You-
have pulled him aside. and
I
said,
mean,
"Well,
how
what are
much-
you doing?"
They said that he was such a perv that he used to leave boxes of, like, the Costco
Yeah.
of condoms, the Trojans, like the Costco sized box outside his office in the trash can so everybody could see that he went through so many condoms. Like,
Love
this
it.
guy didn't care about everybody knowing that he was getting ass all the time in Washington. But, you know, that's not why I support him. But I'm
That's
saying...
not why we support.
But I'm
Just
saying,
before
you know,
we were talking about soft porn, and now we're talking about this guy who lays it down in Washington D.C.
But I gotta tell you, I agree with a lot of things he says, but not everything. I mean, in this movie, he has shakes thrown at him. They're like, "My Gates, we hate you, my
It's
Gates."
like
how could
Bush
you
with
be
the
such a-"
shoe.
Yeah.
When they whipped the shoe at Bush.
Oh, and do you know that the Truman Show? I don't think you ever saw that movie with Jim Carrey.
I never
They
saw that
actually
movie.
used the front door of his house, his real house that he grew up in.
Really?
Yeah, they used the front door for that movie, The Truman Show,
Wow.
with Jim Carrey. It's just, I have to say, you know, so that kind of made me a little excited. That I'm like, you know, I'm glad that this is going to be my congressman.
Right.
And I'm happy that Ron DeSantis is going to be my governor.
For now.
You know?
For a couple of years.
Well, I hope he doesn't run for president right away.
He's running for vice president.
But let's see what happens. You know, I mean, I think that the House will pass home inspection and we won't have a problem.
I do
But I'm
too.
still scared. Like,
You
I
are.
don't want
You're a
to.
little nervous.
I am nervous.
But the house is sold.
It's not until we're at the lawyer's office and we're signing the
But the
papers.
house is sold, though.
Well, and when we sign the papers is when it's sold. And
Congratulations, we sold your house. Chris
Yeah.
Clark. In quote. I
the
quoted.
best
I was on that
realtor.
call. I was there.
I have to say, the best realtor, man. Because that guy came in and he had like these comps and he was like, I'm telling you, this is what your house could sell for. And
Yeah, so take it in, YouTube viewers, those people that watch. We're limited shows in this studio.
yeah.
There's
Yeah, I don't know what
limited
we're gonna.
June.
Well, we have to do one when we move to Florida. We'll probably be in the
do
Motel
the-
6.
The first show that we do down there.
No.
We'll pull up like those plastic chairs like we're in Ozark, and we'll like sit on like while like a bunch of like swingers run by us like with their significant others, and we'll just be like, yeah, oh, there goes another swinger.
I'm so
There goes
afraid-
Matt. Look, there he is, Matt Gates, running by us. Matt,
I'm
Shut
so
up, pal.
afraid that it's gonna end up like Sheets Creek.
and it's gonna be like, Matt, why don't you come on the show real quick?
Pensacola. I'm terrified. Like, I'm gonna leave my beautiful life, my friends, like, you know,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna be in Schitt's Creek for a dog-friendly hotel, no place to live.
There he is. Look at that dog.
I'm telling you, that's my biggest fear. I'm like, we're gonna be in fucking Schitt's Creek.
Well, what happened? I know you were speaking with somebody about a house.
Well, they
you
haven't
were
gotten
renting.
back to us because, you know, I was going to rent, but every rental is
It's just
crap.
shit.
And then every nice rental, dogs aren't allowed.
Come
They don't
on.
want dogs. Every nice rental,
Do they
don't
know
want
what dogs we have? We have great dogs.
Yeah, but these are beautiful houses, so they don't want the dogs. So then everybody who'll take dogs,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to live there. So I'm like, oh, what are we going to do?
I know. We're in a stressful spot, Coach.
It is a stressful spot. It really is stressful.
Mm.
So, but I feel like, you know, God has a plan.
Yep.
He'll work everything out and we'll see what happens. You know?
Limited number of shows left in the studio.
I know we have 51 days.
Live it
Oh,
up.
God.
51 days, producer Prez said. So
Please don't give me an
what is
anxiety
that?
attack.
How many weeks, Prez, is that?
7 and 2 days.
So 7 weeks. So we have 14 shows left in the house.
So scary.
14 shows.
The last
Mark
show
it
will
down.
probably be empty.
Yeah,
There
we'll
won't be any furniture or anything.
We'll have to get like the beach chairs and set them up in the.
We'll have
in
to
the
do it in
living
the
room.
yard at the Chase Lounge if I leave that. I don't know.
Or you get the
Fuck them.
lawn
I don't even
chair.
get the Chase Lounge.
I don't know. We'll see. They don't seem like bad people. They're gonna, you know, it's a young couple and
They seem excited about it.
they do seem excited,
Well, that's good.
which I'm happy.
Good for them. Good for them. So, Coach, we got a ton of stuff to get to today. I made a nice list of things that we should brush upon. So we got the first one being I wanted to get your opinion on the horse scandal with the cheating horse in the Kentucky Derby.
The Medina Spirit.
Medina Spirit. So Scott Phillips' pick
I once caught Frank and Ollie cheating at cars once.
was
And I said, this is the Medina
Medina
Spirit.
Spirit.
Ollie's
And
gonna be
cheated
like,
it out. It's unbelievable with the cheating horse. And did you see what the guy said today? The big guy that won the
he was
Kentucky
like
Derby?
this, he felt like a victim.
Well, did you hear what he said? What
What
the
did he
excuse
say?
was?
What?
He said that one of the people, this is true, this is what he said. One of the people that were feeding the horse took a piss in the stall that the horse was kept in, and he was drinking cough syrup because he had a cough, and that the horse ate the hay that was on his piss, and that's what caused
That is such
the
bullshit.
steroid. That's what he said.
That is the biggest bullshit. I
And he
remember when
filed an injunction so he could run in the Preakness Stakes on Saturday.
I thought he was running for sure.
Well, they were going to ban him.
Really?
And then he filed an injunction today with that as the excuse on the injunction for him to run on the
That
Preakness
must have
Stakes
been like
on Saturday.
27 gallons of piss, and that's
Yeah, it must have been quite the piss.
I mean, what kind of...
Like they were
That's
laughing
so
about it on the
crazy.
fan the whole day about this piss that this guy
I mean,
was
how much
taking.
piss? Because I remember I would bring Seabiscuit's grandson,
Toasty.
Toasty. I would bring Toasty, the carrots, the treats, and that horse used to eat it like it was nothing. Like it was
Yeah.
just like a...
Well, you should see Lawrence Horse Dante eats like they like bring barrels
why-
and barrels
I
of
can't
hay
believe,
every
like-
day into these for these horses.
There's no way that piss would make
No,
it
no
possible
way.
for a drug
That's one of the
test.
biggest tall tales of all time.
Well, I think the Medina Spirit had it in him, and I think that...
I think he's a cheater. I think he's a fucking fraud, and that should be taken away.
No way.
Yes, fuck that
Well,
guy.
it's too bad because if you bet on him, you won, and there's no going
There's
back.
no
Like
going
there's
back.
no
Yeah, you get to keep
refunds.
that. I
There's
think
no.
you get to keep that money.
Yeah, you do.
Man, I'd be pissed if I was
So
betting
I
on
felt
another
so
horse.
sad. He was like,
You bet on that
The
second
Medi-
horse. What was that? The one that was named after Mandalorian. It was like the Mandalore or something like that. That horse,
yeah.
second place.
And how pissed because the odds were like 20 something.
Yeah, so you would have got a fat payout for that horse. Fat payout for that horse. That horse
Man.
was predicted to be fucking like last, and
And
that horse
came
pulled
in
it out.
second. He was probably freaking had somebody was probably pissing in his stall too.
Probably.
For all we know, for that.
I got
stall
right.
to
Should have
come
been
in
Hot
second
Rod Charlie.
place.
Came
Huh?
in third. I should have won. 2 cheaters in the front, probably.
Well, I know that it was the Medina Spirit that was keeping my horse like on the outside. My
Yeah.
horse didn't have a chance.
Your horse sucked at a question.
My horse was
that essential.
great.
That essential something.
It just
Essential
couldn't-
quality.
Essential quality. That horse sucked.
It was
My horse
to the
smacked that
outside.
horse around. He
Oh,
was
give
like-
me a break. He's so full of crap.
Smack that horse around like a punk bitch. Hot Rod Charlie.
That's
He's gonna
not
win the
true.
Preakness.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Calling it.
We'll see what
Preakness
happens.
bound. Preakness bound. Mark it down.
That dog is ready to start barking
I
because
know,
of that
look, look.
stupid cat coming over here.
Here we go. You
Did
got the
you-
2 dogs there. You got the cats.
Oh,
You got cats. You got coyotes. You got bunnies.
the bunnies are
It's
amazing.
unbelievable.
I know, it's like Animal
it's literally
Kingdom.
Like
It is.
a Disney movie in this backyard. Huh?
I know.
Where Bambi's gonna run by.
I'm
in
like
a
Snow
second.
White.
There's
There
deer.
are deer here too.
We get a Bambi running by. Have they come and tried to eat your flowers yet?
I haven't really planted any. I think they did eat some of my.
Because I know the
pansies
deer
on the
love
rocks.
to come by and eat your flowers. That's like a go-to.
They do.
They're big flower eaters. Look at Max coming right up.
He's so excited.
Suddenly got Max on the show today.
Man, that was sad about the horse. Dad was really unhappy about that.
I know. I can't front.
I feel
This
bad for
cheating
the horse.
Man, there's a lot of craziness going on.
There's a lot of craziness going on. That Chinese rocket fell into the Indian Ocean.
Do you believe all the pieces have fallen?
Well,
I think
a lot
they
of them
said
got
that it was
burnt
going to
up,
fall
though.
in New York. It was going to fall in New York. How the hell do you get in New York and then it's the Indian Ocean that it fell into?
It's very, very, very big miss.
Like those poor Indians don't have enough problem between the rocket falling and the COVID cases.
Yep.
Like those people
Yeah.
are suffering so bad in India right now.
Yeah, that country is suffering a lot.
Man, they were so happy. They love Trump so much.
Well, remember when he sold out that massive stadium
Yeah.
that they had?
They
went down
love
there
Trump
to
so
see
much.
India, and they sold that
And
place
now they're
out. Like I was like,
suffering.
let's go.
No, that's probably why.
Yeah.
The world order's like, you ain't getting any vaccines.
Yep.
And then China's like, we're going to dump our rocket ship crap right onto your,
I know.
onto your country. Like, those people can't get a break.
There's a lot of tension going on in that part of the world right now.
There is.
Untalked about tension, of course, because the news won't talk about it. But did you see that video that the Iranians made and sent to the United States?
No, what video?
They created a video, I think it was either yesterday or it was this morning. They created a video of the Capitol building getting blown up, like the Kingdom Come, like blowing up Capitol Hill. As like a warning, and then like this afternoon, or I guess I don't know what time it was in Iran, but we fired more shots at a couple of their gunships that were swinging around near our waters. A couple of our naval ships were shooting shit at the Iranians.
They sent a video
Yep.
to Joe Biden
To Joe Biden of the Capitol.
of the Capitol getting blown up.
Yep.
How
And showed it to their
dare
people
they?
too in Iran, and they were all like, "Oh."
How dare they?
Yeah.
You see, if Trump was president, they wouldn't have done that shit.
No way.
They
Because
would have
we
never
would've
sent
kicked
a
their ass.
video. Yeah, it would have
Like,
been
we
like,
would've been
oh, you know what? You want to send me a movie? I'll send you the real thing. And one
Yeah.
of those bombs would have been landing right on their heads right now.
Correct.
The Iranians
It was
are such a
unbelievable,
piece
that
of
video.
shit.
It was unbelievable. It's literally like old school, like Ayatollah.
Let me tell you, I'll never forget, I was a little girl, and, my parents always watch news every night, Walter Cronkite, and there was a picture of the Ayatollah. I swear I stopped dead in my tracks, and I said, that's the devil. I'm not kidding you. I was like, that's the devil. My mother goes, no, that's not the devil. I said, that's the devil.
Yeah.
And I am terrified of Iran. And there was a movie when I was a kid called The Man Who Saw Tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And they always talked about the man in the turban blowing up a city. And look what
Yeah.
happened with 9/11. I wouldn't be surprised. The Iranians, they're so disgusting.
Yeah.
They really,
And but the unfortunate fact is too is that Trump isn't there to have that relationship with Saudi Arabia, where that kind of kept the Iranians in check a little bit. Now that Trump's gone, the Saudis are like, "Fuck Biden, that guy's a bitch." You know the Muslims respond to that strength shit, that old school, where it's like you gotta have the tight fist, and Biden with the immigration,
Biden,
people
where he
just
won't
walk
go
right
anywhere
across.
without his mask.
people walk right across. He doesn't give a shit. So
Biden's afraid of COVID.
yeah.
He's terrified of COVID. And,
Well, 'cause
I
he's
just...
one of the
the most
percent that's
vulnerable.
at
He
risk.
shouldn't be president.
Yeah.
He honestly should not be president.
Mhm.
And it's awful because he's such a sign of weakness.
He is.
He sounds like a frail old man with
Mm-hmm.
no backbone. He's not really running the country. So the Iranians are probably laughing.
Yeah.
And they're in bed with the Chinese. So the
Yeah.
Chinese are like, who needs North Korea to bother the United States? We now have the Iranians who can antagonize the United States. Like,
Yeah.
so much of this shit is completely orchestrated by China.
It really is, and I feel like it's orchestrated a lot too by like the world order, like those. I feel like there's like a little like
Of course
collusion
there is.
where it's like let's screw with the U.S. a little bit.
Well, did you see there was an article in the New York Post?
Mm.
And I shared it on Facebook because
Yes.
everybody's like, oh, you're such a
Is it
conspiracy theory.
the COVID? Was
That
released from the
yeah,
lab?
like they're like, it's not crazy to think. And that doctor with pandemic, she was like, this was in a
Yeah.
lab. Oh, that's such BS. That's not true. It came from a bat. Are you an idiot? It doesn't make any sense.
It came from a bat that Stan Marsh fucked in South Park. Remember that? Where he's fucking the bat with Mickey Mouse. It came from that bat.
It's so crazy. So, even, like, I'm telling you, in the future, it's going to come out that this shit came out of a lab.
Yeah.
It's going to totally come out.
That it was used as a
And
biological weapon.
you know what? They were trying to impeach Trump. It didn't work. The economy was roaring. They knew that he was going to win
And we
another
were kicking
election.
China's ass in terms
Yes.
of like trades and sanctions and stuff. Like we
Yeah.
were whooping the Chinese
Let me
ass.
tell you, those people, a New Year's Eve were partying their asses off in Wuhan.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't worry about any virus.
Mhm.
It really is just awful what happened. And I think a lot of it was because Trump was rocking the boat too much.
No, I would agree with you. I think you're 100% correct.
I mean, he was rocking the boat, so they needed to get rid of his ass. But now I'm happy to see that they're getting rid of Liz Cheney's ass.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, you want to dig a hole for someone? You better dig two. One for you. One for you too. So she wanted to bury Trump. Now she's losing her leadership position in Congress.
Yeah.
And you know what's so funny? They all kiss Cheney's ass now. They're like, oh, Cheney.
Yeah.
It's like, I remember when they used to call him Darth Vader. He was the evil empire. Cheney was the devil. Bush was a piece of crap. Now they all love him. Why? Because they don't like Trump. Because they're part of the swamp.
Yeah.
They're part of it.
That's exactly why I don't like Mitch McConnell, too, because Mitch McConnell's part of that whole bullshit group.
At least Mitch McConnell was smart enough.
He
So-
wasn't that smart.
Well, he did stop them from impeaching Trump because he could have easily. If it was Cheney went with the Democrats and voted to get rid of Trump and to impeach Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Mitch McConnell did not do that.
The only person that I'll give any sort of credit to is Lion Ted. I think Lion Ted's the only person with the big ball sack that was like, you guys are full of shit. The most. Like, every day he went into Congress and was like, you guys are full of shit. Like, he was the only one that would call any Democrat out in Congress. Because I remember, we talked about it, it was like 2 days after
The
Election
insurrection?
Day.
Oh.
No, this was before the insurrection. This was 2 days after they stole the election. And we were saying, oh, Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham rolled over his shoulder's belly like he does every fucking time because he's a little punk bitch.
I haven't even seen Lindsey Graham.
He rolled right over it and just lifted the leg and said, pet my belly, like a little bitch every time. Because that's who he is. He's a fucking little punk. The only
He's a
person
survivor.
that was like, I'm going to stand up to you was Ted Cruz. Rand Paul fucking showed his belly too. And the only time Rand Paul is trying to act tough right now with COVID, giving it to Fauci all the time. But when they stole that election, Rand Paul was like, oh, give it a pet. I won't say anything.
Well,
They're a bunch of pussies in that
Rand
GOP.
Paul did stand up to George Stephanopoulos. And he did fight with the press. And he said
He fought with the press.
he said the same way that you could bring up Russian collusion and all this other crap, we have every right to question the integrity of the election. So Rand Paul did step up to the press and let them have it. And he was like, no, we have every right to question. There are a lot of, oh, God, I can't think of the word. Well,
Irregularities.
Irregularities.
in
You
the
know,
election.
Rand Paul, I don't think he was such a puss.
He's a little bit of a puss.
Well, he did get beat up by his neighbor, remember?
Rand Paul.
Let me tell you, the Democrats preach peace, but you have the Democrat neighbor kicking Rand Paul's ass. You have the other Democrat going in the congressional baseball and shooting them up, right? Almost killing Steve Scalise. Like, these Democrats are freaking wackadoos. They're the exact opposite of everything they say that they are.
Yeah.
They say that they're peaceful and loving and they're for freedom. No, they're for controlling every freaking thing that you do, including your thoughts.
Communism.
What about with this whole, what is it, with the school that they're going to go and racial theory?
Oh, the Black Lives Matter education.
But
Yes.
what is
Yeah.
that? That now, like these, are you really going to go and like make little white kids feel guilty for being white?
Yes.
Like that's what the whole
That's
thing
the
is
idea.
about.
That's
And it's
the
like,
idea.
this is absolutely ludicrous. So then you have senators like Tim Scott who's like, listen, a country doesn't always focus on the sins. A country shows how they can overcome things that have, been unfair to them. Like, that racial theory thing, I don't like that at all. I
Of
do
course
not
not.
like that.
Here's what I have to say about the racial theory thing. I think that you should teach what happened. Like, you should teach regular American history. Yes.
Yeah, you should teach history.
But you shouldn't feel guilty about things that happened in 14, something. Like,
Isn't it the 1687? Like, that's...
well, it's all of it. I mean, they'll go back to prior to the American Revolution. Like, they'll go back to, your ancestors in Europe were enslaving people all the time. I'm sure they'd even bring it up about Romans enslaving people.
Let's talk about the Egyptians enslaving people.
yeah.
I mean, give me a break. Like, history is
Look,
ugly.
there's no bigger history of slavery than in Africa itself. You want to talk about
Of
slavery?
course.
Look in Africa before you look
Listen,
anywhere
they were-
else. The
they were
Africans
slaves.
invented slavery.
But there's
They
slaves.
invented it.
No, because there's slaves even in the Old Testament with the Jews going to Egypt.
Well, the Jews
Yeah.
were the first known slaves, I would say.
I mean,
Documented
listen,
slaves. The
history
Jews.
is ugly.
Fuck, the Jews, they've been at the bottom of the barrel for a long time. Oh. Talk about somebody that's been at the bottom of the barrel.
They're the chosen people.
They have been at the bottom of the barrel for a long time.
Well, they've had it tough, but God has given them.
I would like to see the Jews and the blacks go at it a little bit about who's really at the bottom of the barrel, huh?
Carlos, that's a horrible thing
Well,
to
no,
say.
I'm saying,
I've seen
but, like-
it in Crown Heights when I was growing up in the
Well,
90s.
I mean, like, Black Lives Matter always complain saying that they're at the lowest totem pole, but I would think the Jews would have a pretty good argument of saying, "Oh, I think we were at the lowest totem pole."
And don't forget
They
the
get
angry.
blown. They're getting blown up today,
But
right now.
wait a
It's
minute.
recording, and they're
Wait a
blowing. They're
minute,
getting blown up.
you're not forgetting about the angry white women. They're
Oh,
the ones at
the
the bottom.
feminists. The feminists.
They're
It's
the
always funny
ones who are
that-
at the
that
bottom of everything.
They always say that the feminists love to cut the line. That they always find a way to just sneak up and then just cut the line real quick. They're like, hold on, guys, hold on.
There's no one lower than
We're
them.
we're at the top.
There's no one lower than them. They've
Yeah.
always been mistreated since the beginning.
They
of
love to
history.
cut the line. The white feminist movement.
Oh,
I
I don't want
agree.
any part of any of those clubs. I
You
want
don't
to be a
wanna part of
winner.
the club?
No, I
Well,
want
you
to
were
be successful.
you were the number one Jew defender the other day. They're
Listen.
getting blown up today. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, them and Palestine are going back and forth at it because I guess the Palestinians did something, so then the Israelites
Israel,
dropped a couple bombs on the Gaza Strip and said, "Shut your mouth."
the Israelis.
Yeah, the Israelis dropped a couple bombs, and then the Palestinians returned the favor.
All hell is breaking loose again.
And
Trump's
then
out of
Ilyan,
office
and then
for a few
Ilyan
months.
Omar, our lovely friend from
The squad.
Michigan, came out today.
Not
with,
Michigan, Minnesota.
No, I think she's from Michigan.
No,
Isn't
Ilyan
from
Omar
Michigan?
is from.
Check it out, bros. Is she from Minnesota?
I'm pretty sure she's from Minnesota because I remember watching a documentary with her. I know the
Minnesota
voter
or
fraud
Michigan, Chris?
in Minnesota. I mean, yeah, isn't it? Is it Minnesota or yeah, the one where Al Franken is from?
Producer Price is checking.
I know it can't. It said she's from Somalia.
Oh, okay. Our friend from Somalia is her and AOC went out on Twitter today and did like a big rant about
Minnesota's 5th congressional district.
All right, so yes, you were right, Minnesota. But they went out today and they said that the Jews are the biggest terrorists in the world. That's
Well,
what they said.
David Duke backed Ilyan Omar because she's so anti-Semitic that he said the KKK and I completely support Ilyan Omar in all of her campaigns.
First of all, Ilyan Omar is from Somalia,
But
and
no-
she must have been pissed when they come from Somalia and they stick their asses in Minnesota. Could you find a
That's
worse
chilly.
place to put
It's a
a
little
bunch of
chilly over there
Somalis
in,
that are like from Africa? And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, welcome to the United States. We're gonna put you in Minnesota. No wonder they're so pissed off.
Yeah.
They're freezing their asses off.
Well,
It's
Ilyan
so
Omar
cold.
said that the Jews, the Israelites, are the biggest terrorist threats in the world.
That's a horrible thing for her to say.
That's what she said.
That's a
Right on
horrible
Twitter.
thing for her to say. Not the Chinese who unleashed COVID.
Yep.
Right? They're not the worst. They unleashed COVID. and
Not
killed-
the Iranians threatening to blow up the Capitol building.
Hopefully we'll have ass
It's
in
the
it if they do it.
Jews
And hopefully
are the
Matt Gates
biggest
will be in
threat.
Orlando. And
Can you believe that? The poor Jews. I feel bad for them sometimes.
Of course you should.
Like, it's like, those poor people are just
They're-
getting picked on from every angle.
Because it's okay to pick on the Jews. That's what I was even saying. Like when I grew up on the Lower East Side, you know, like there was tons of racism and there were
Yeah.
no white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, but what was the one group of people that everybody could agree on tormenting? Were the Jews. I mean,
Max-
I'm not
Max knows
kidding you.
about that.
It's
He's a little
awful. Listen, they're
Max
very
is a wasp.
anti-Semitic people
Max
in
is a
this
wasp.
world.
I know, I feel bad. I mean, you want to talk about anti-Semitism. Look no further.
When you have
Ilyan
people,
Omar.
I mean, yeah, when you have Congress people
Well,
who can just
I
insult.
think a lot of people would agree that the Muslims are very, 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 very anti-Semitic
and anti-Catholic.
and anti-Catholic.
And-
well, the Muslims are anti-everybody but Muslims.
Right.
Yeah.
Like their goal
So-
in life is to convert everybody or kill them.
Yeah.
It's convert or die.
It's in the Quran. Look it up. It's true.
I mean but those are the extremists. There are a lot of good
It's in the
Muslim
Quran.
people. No, but there are a lot of good Muslim people who are not interested in going around and killing.
Well, this is what I say about the Muslim people. There are the extremists that are ready to kill everybody, and then there are those that just turn and walk the other way. Those are the two groups.
Yeah, like they let it happen. So
They're the two, and then they'll be the first ones to be like, feel sorry for us because we're not part of the extremists. Feel sorry for us. But I have yet to see the Muslim religion work towards ending extremism. Like, I don't think that there's ever been an effort when they do their big gathering at the what's the rock called that they all go and they pray at?
Mecca.
The Mecca Rock. They have never joined together and said, let's fight to end ISIS. Let's fight to end.
Well, Carlos, they don't
Muslim
even get along. They're the
extremists.
Sunnis and the Shias. They don't even get
No,
along.
I know,
with each
but
other.
like, you know, when you have the Pope and the
Yeah.
Vatican, and they're you know making public statements. All right, this is what the Catholic Church's mission is this year.
And now we have the Catholic Church is starting to fight amongst itself.
Well, that's because
yeah.
you have a Nazi as the Pope, but that's a different topic.
He's-
But literally, he's a Nazi.
terrible.
He's white. And he's from Argentina.
Italian
You
from
can-
Argentina. Come on.
Like that, you're literally a Nazi.
and he's a communist.
Like, how did you get there?
Well, I mean, the minute that I heard that his family fled Europe
Yeah.
during the World War II, I was like, well, we all know what the Italians are doing during World War II in Europe.
You're clearly.
Yeah,
you're
and you fled to Argentina with all the other Nazis.
with everybody else.
I mean, let's be honest. Like, that I always found so bizarre. And, you know, they'll keep it a secret, though.
They will. But anyway, yeah, I mean, like, it's just, that's why I have so much trouble, because yes, there are very peaceful Muslims, peaceful loving Muslims, but you guys just turn your
Yeah,
back,
but so
you look
what?
the other way.
Carlos, that's how a lot of people are. They're weak. They don't want to have to stand up and have
Let
integrity
me tell you,
and
if
fight
there's a
with
bunch of
people.
Catholics running around, murdering people, you sure as shit would see a lot more hate from Catholics hating on
Well,
them.
what about all the Catholics that support abortion? So you
Well,
have
those are fake
so
Catholics.
they're killing a ton of babies in this country. Millions of babies are being killed a year, and how many Catholics just sit by and don't say shit about it?
Yeah.
So right there is another
Yeah.
example
No, you're
of
right.
Catholics who are being complicit when it comes to abortion, because that is a baby. All right.
And those are the fake, what are the fake Catholics?
And
you call
they'll
them?
sit by and
They
they'll
only show up to
rationalize. You know
Easter.
why? Because it's called being relative.
Yeah.
Everything is relative. So that's the
Oh,
problem.
oh,
When
I
you
see.
study the Old Testament, right? What does God say continuously in the Old Testament? One of the things is Israel for a while went about without having a leader. So
Yeah.
when they did not have a leader, everybody thought to do what they thought was best. And people don't want to hear that is wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, no, wait, but it's all relative. No, it's wrong. You're going to have sex.
Yep.
You're going to get pregnant. You don't just go and have an abortion. That's wrong. That's a living thing. So how many Catholics are silent and allow abortion to go on? So right there's an example of complicity and relativism among Catholics.
Big words from the coach. Coach,
Well, no, because I'm just saying, like, we can't be hypocritical and just be like, oh, it's just, no, it's everybody. Everybody has.
Right, but you do see the Catholic Church as a whole come out and say that abortion's wrong. Like, the leaders of the Catholic Church
Some
don't
of them,
say
and
that.
some of them don't. Some of them
The
don't.
Pope will.
I don't even remember the last time the Pope said anything against abortion.
Well, because he's too busy yelling
I
at
don't even
Trump.
remember. I don't even remember the
Let
last
me
time the
look it
Pope
up.
said anything. Let me tell you something. This isn't the 1950s. This is 2021. You should be able to figure out birth control at this point. Okay? Figure out the freaking birth control by
Deliver
2020.
it. Deliver it, baby.
All right?
Let's get it.
Give me a break. This isn't 1950. And now.
Ask Matt Gates for a
before-
condom. Ask him to pass one over.
Exactly. The man had a big.
He's got a big
box.
Costco box. Just ask him to be like, buddy, can I get one of those real quick? And just
I
throw
mean,
him one over
but,
to
you know,
He's a
like-
good guy.
In the old days, like, they didn't even know when life really starts. Now there's no doubt. It's at conception. You see that heart beating by 4 weeks old. That heart is beating. That is a separate human being
Yep.
that is living inside the mother. You know, so I mean, it's just, I don't know. I just get so angry because I feel like everybody's so full of shit.
I know I'm doing we have our final project in Christ and Sacraments, and we're doing it on abortion and the Catholic stance on abortion, and
What is the
Yeah.
Catholic stance on abortion, Chris?
Well, in 2015, they came out and said that they're against it, but we just started today, so we haven't done much research on it yet.
I mean, it's awful. But the whole thing is that we have a society where it's also down with the old people.
Yeah.
Oh, let them die. They want to have assisted suicide. Let them die.
Well, that's also like all the pro-life and how Catholics
Yeah.
also support the death penalty, and that's like not going
The
by.
Catholics support the death penalty?
No, how some of them don't mind the death penalty, and it's like
Right.
that's
I don't
also
mind
going.
the death penalty.
Well, that's also going against pro-life. That's
Yeah,
not
but
what
I think
pro-life stands for.
if you go and like let's like take the Boston bomber for instance. If you go and your goal is to kill people and plant fear in the rest of a population, you lose that right to say, oh well, pro-life. Like that's it. Like the baby is different. A baby is an innocent thing. It's like
Well-
this is an innocent baby. If you're a murderer and you're going to kill people and entice fear in a nation, why should my tax-paying money keep you alive?
Well,
what's up
because
with
that's
that?
going against the Catholic teachings. The point is that they always
Jesus
can
would not be turning the other cheek.
No,
I
they
don't know about that.
because
I
God
don't
doesn't
think
turn you
I
away.
think
So if
Jesus
you
would be
repent,
like,
the whole
who's gonna
point is
cast
that
that
they
first stone?
still can
that's what he
repent.
would be saying.
Well, so whoever has no sin shall cast that first stone. So that's nobody. So it's like
It'd
that's
be that
why.
baby.
Well, no, they even have sin.
That's right. That's right. The
Oh, from the original.
Yeah.
the original sin.
Oh gosh,
It'd be
we're
Mr.
really
Mouse.
getting intense over
Big
here.
religious talk. Right
Yeah,
now.
so-
Well, I'm just saying that everybody is wrong. Like we
Yes.
can't just go to one group of people and say, "Oh, look, because
Yeah, but I
there's
think
so
you
many
can
of
really
us."
Pinpoint one, though.
No.
I think you can really pinpoint one. Oh, but in other news, let's dip away from the religious talk for a little bit and talk about the most sacrilegious people. The Golden Globes will not be aired on NBC anymore.
Really?
Yes.
What happened? So who's getting the Golden Globes?
They have not released who's getting the Golden Globes. It's apparently because of a scandal from the Hollywood. What's that group called? The Hollywood. You know what I'm talking about. It's Hold on, I'll pull up the article real quick.
I know. Well, the Golden Globes have always been called like a scam because like they get paid off.
Yeah.
And whoever pays them off and bribes them the most usually wins the awards. I mean, what are you going to do though? It's like, who cares? Nobody even cares about Hollywood. The Oscars had the worst ratings ever in like the history of the Oscars. Like, I think that people are over it at this point.
And that's because nobody was able to like go into a movie theater, so you were watching and you didn't even realize.
I think people are also sick of-
actors are handing back their awards because
Really?
of they're mad about the Hollywood Foreign Press.
Yes, the Hollywood Foreign Press.
So they're mad at the Hollywood Foreign Press because I guess there's some scandal going on. What is this? Hold on. I don't want to use.
Listen,
No.
Carlos, nobody really cares about the Golden Globes. I have to
Really,
be
I
honest
thought you'd
with
be
you.
more interested in the.
I
Golden
could care
Globes.
less. That's what I'm saying. Nobody cares. Nobody watched the Oscars. Nobody cares about the Golden Globes. They're a bunch of perverts, and a lot of them are turning out to be hypocrites.
Yeah.
Everybody's
No,
one
Remember
small
that,
sentence
that
away
mo-
from being canceled.
That monologue. Remember the monologue that guy gave?
Yes, Richie Gervais.
Yeah,
Richie
but
Gervais.
he's like, don't come up here and give that bullshit political speech.
And he's like, I don't care. I don't care.
Nobody cares.
You know?
That was good. That was good.
That
for the
was
Golden
good.
Globes. I think that's probably why there's some scandal.
No,
sure
it's because they were getting bribes for the awards.
Coach, what did you think about that shooting in Times Square?
Hello,
New Yorker.
1970s is calling. They're getting New York back. Let me tell you something. New York is
Shut
turning
up!
into the biggest
Midday in Times Square.
Listen, there's no more stop and frisk, right?
Yeah.
Everybody bitched about, oh, stop and frisk. It's so racist. It's this. It's that. Yeah, so now nobody's scared anymore about carrying a gun because they don't
Yeah.
have to worry about being stopped and frisked. So the law-abiding people will not carry a gun, but the people who are criminals all have a gun.
Yeah.
And it's bullshit. So now, without stop and frisk, there are a lot more people carrying guns in New York, and the gun violence is up. And it was two brothers.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Farrakhan Muhammad? That's who they're looking for. The guy's name is Farrakhan Muhammad. The only thing I can think of is he. Because when I was growing up, there were the black Israelites who used to stand in Times Square, right?
Just saying.
And they used to yell about the blue-eyed devil. The white man was the devil. Anybody with blue eyes was the devil.
Yeah.
And I remember I used to feel so bad because my father had blue eyes.
Yeah.
You know, now I have a son with blue eyes. Like, I'm like, how, you know, like that used to make me feel sad. Like, I'm like, that's not right that you're going to say, you know, my father's a good man. He's not a devil. But they would be standing there, the blue-eyed devil. And I said, I wonder if it was one of those guys. Because apparently the two brothers got into a fight.
Yes.
And then the brother went to shoot the other brother. And I guess the bullets ricocheted and hit other
Well, I
people.
mean, you shot 3 people.
A 4-year-old, including a 4-year-old girl, right?
Yep.
I mean, how disgusting is that? But that's the way it was in the 70s.
Yeah.
New York was crazy. It was
New York
crazy.
has become quite the dump now, huh?
It's back. It's back. So, you know, and my son is moving to New York. My 18-year-old's going to go move in New York.
And how many weeks is that? 5, right? 5 weeks, same time frame.
6.
Yeah.
He
Maybe
moves.
6.
He leaves.
No, he
2
still
days
has
before we
7
do.
weeks. So 7 weeks exactly.
Well, he's leaving the week. He starts June 28th.
So he's
And
leaving
he has to be there like a couple of days, I think
Yeah.
Wednesday or Thursday before he checks in because they do orientation.
Right.
But that kid's going to be hitting the ground running.
Yeah.
But he's on like the Upper East Side too, so it's
He's going to be on the Upper West Side.
Upper West
West
Side.
Side, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he's by Lincoln Center. It's going to be intense for him.
Yeah, I was telling John Kenny about it. He was saying he was looking into it.
It's going to be crazy. I'm like,
It
I
is.
can't believe. And, you know, like, that's one of the things that concerns me. I'm like, Scott, I feel so nervous about having my 18-year-old going into the city.
Very
I'm
far
gonna-
away in Florida.
And he's like, it's a short plane away. It's a short plane ride away.
It's
Don't
a
worry.
short plane away.
And I'm like,
It
You
is
know.
quite the flight. Quite
Well,
the drive. 19 hours and 35 minutes.
the drive. Forget about that crap. But I mean, you know, so, but God willing, I'm going to pray a lot and I'll light candles. And,
Maybe, you know, who knows? Maybe New York City will wake up a little quicker than they did the last time.
and
You never know.
Ollie and Leon are around. Ollie said that Gabe can go stay with her, take the bus.
You
to
never
Jersey.
know that if maybe the New
And Aunt
Yorkers
Lou.
will figure it out quicker than they did the first time.
That's not going to happen.
You never know. Maybe.
I know.
Maybe.
I
You
know. We need Giuliani time back.
Well, Giuliani is under the...
Listen, you're
under
not
the
going to
gun.
stay with liberal policies in a city that big
Yeah.
and with such a disparity between the haves and the have-nots. I don't care
Well-
how woke you try to make people. People are pissed off when you see people have a shitload of money
Yeah.
and you don't even have money for a slice of pizza.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
99 cents slice of pizza.
Yeah, like, I mean, it is
It's
bad.
99 cents.
So there's, you know, there's a lot of income inequality, and I agree with that. I
Yeah.
do believe there's a lot of income inequality. And I do believe that there is this haves and have-nots. But
What do you think about the vax and vax nots going on in New York?
you know what I think? I think that they're very smart people who aren't going to let the government tell them what to do.
Well,
That's
it's
what
going
I
to get
think.
really interesting. So I was listening to the fan on the ride here,
Mhm.
and as you know, the Knicks made the playoffs for the first time in forever, and they're the 3rd seed, so they're like good.
Mhm.
So the De Blasio said that they're going to allow more fans into the Garden for the Knicks playoff game, but they have to be vaccinated. So now and then you have the Mets and the Yankees saying that they're gonna open up parts of the stadium to vax people where they can go mask free and be in the vaxxed area, and then the unvaxxed people will get these seats, and so now there's like a big imbalance going on in the city between the vaxxed and the non-vaxxed going to the games and going to the events. I'm curious to see if Broadway joins in on that and says you can't go see a show unless you're vaxxed.
I
That's
think
the only way I'm getting one.
I think that's what they're gonna do,
Yeah,
or I
that's
think
what they're
that's
gonna do.
what they're gonna try and do. But then you're gonna have the people that are like, "Well, I'm not getting vaxxed." And
There
then
are going to be enough
like,
people to say, you can take your show and shove it up your ass. You're not going to tell me that I have to take
I've
this
seen
vaccine.
quite a few like athletes and like big like media influencers saying that don't go get the vaccine. So
Listen,
I mean, it's gonna be
honestly,
curious to
it's
see.
supposed to be private. Your medical history and things that go on with your body is supposed to be private.
It's not
And there's a
private anymore,
reason
though.
for that. But there's a reason for that. So they need to cut the shit. Because it's going to start with the vaccine and it's going to go into other areas where they're
Yeah.
going to feel like they have a right to get into your personal business. And that's why I don't want to lose my liberties. Oh, I know who that is. Branford Public High School. Your son
Letting
has
you
been
know that your
absent.
son did not go to class again today.
Every freaking day.
He never goes to class.
He was-
Ever.
Today, well, he went and got his vaccine yesterday. And he was on the couch all day today. His second shot, he was like,
He was
so
sick?
sick. He felt terrible.
Oh.
He felt terrible.
How about that shit?
Felt terrible.
Live.
And I was like, well, he's 18. You know, what are you going to do?
He went and got
I
his
know.
vaccine.
I'm
He's-
eligible now.
Well, we're going to the lands of freedom.
I know. I'm like,
Prize, are you gonna get the vaccine?
not unless I have to. There's no reason for me to get the vaccine, so I'm like, I don't need to get it.
He
Why
had
can't
COVID.
you just-
He had COVID. Why
Exactly,
does he
and
get
I'm
the
not
vaccine?
That's the big
And I'm
thing.
not at risk,
Why
so
can't
it's-
either a negative test or an antibody test, like a positive antibody test, be good enough to say, all right, I'm fine?
Because they're in on it with the drug companies.
Yeah.
And they're not going to be happy until every single person gets a shot in their ass or their arm. Like, that's it.
Anywhere.
They
Could be in the eye.
have a lot of money invested into this vaccine.
Yeah.
As well as they need to see if they're going to be able
That's not even
to
approved for
pressure
regular use.
people. Well, they need to see if they're going to be able to pressure people and how far they can go with this total control over what people do.
Boomer Esiason told me I should go get the vaccine.
Oh, freak boomer science.
Well-
What do you? I don't care what anybody tells me. Until you pay my bills, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
You know, if you're gonna come, pay my bills, take care of me, take care of my kids, really show that you love and care about me, then I'll listen to you. But if you're not doing shit for me, why should I give a shit about what you're gonna tell me to do?
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
You know what I mean? At least, Boomer is gonna be laying in the Hamptons. Boomer's not cleaning his toilets. Boomer's living large. He can go lay in the bed for a couple of days if he gets sick from the vaccine.
Except for his buddy Craig Carton in his head.
What do you mean, Craig Carton? What does he have to do with this?
Well, because Craig Carton, I forget, like there was some article that came out and they said that WFAN's biggest stars is Craig Carton and Evan Roberts. That's that afternoon show.
Oh.
And Boomer lost it about that. The morning show was crazy today about how
Well, I
fired
have
up.
to say, Greg Carton is really famous for going to jail.
Yeah,
He went
is
to
famous.
jail,
And he's good. Like I enjoy that Carton and Evans show because it's hilarious. Like it's funny, the way that they go back and forth at each other. Like it's hilarious.
Dad has on Boomer and it's so boring.
Yeah.
It's so
Because
boring.
Boomer and Carton used to be like funny,
Yeah.
like the way that they would feed off each other and go back and forth. Now Gio sucks. I've always said that the new guy, that Gio guy, I've always said that he's ass. And everybody, like, all the people in New York, like, love to say Gio's great. Gio's great. Gio sucks.
He's terrible.
He's unlistenable.
You know who I listen to? Len Berman and Michael Riedel in the
Well,
morning.
that's the Broadway side of things. They talk about the
Well,
Broadway.
no, because Len
Broadway.
Berman's a sportscaster. So
Yeah.
he'll talk sports, but Michael Riedel knows absolutely nothing about sports. He knows everything about Broadway.
Yes.
So it's hilarious. So when Len Berman talks about sports, how little Michael Riedel knows about anything.
Did you hear about that big Mets fight the other day?
No.
The Mets? Well, so the Mets came back and won on Friday. And you know that new superstar that they got, the Francisco Lindor guy, that all the Mets fans are like, this is our year.
Every
Well,
year, it's
so-
a year.
Francisco Lindor and Jeff McNeil got into a fight in the dugout, like in the tunnel of the dugout. They got into a big
Really?
fight. And then after the big fight, Lindor comes up and hits a big home run to take the lead for the Mets. And the post game, they have the reporters on the Zoom, and some reporters are in person and whatnot. So they had the big reporters, and they said, "Oh, what happened with Jeff McNeil and you guys skirmish in the dugout?" He goes, "There was a skirmish. We were having a debate because I thought it was a raccoon, and then Jeff said it was a New York City rat, and we were having a discussion, and they went with it, and the media was laughing because they both went out and said the same story. It was so funny." And they were loving it on the news today about the Lindor New York City
Well,
rat.
that was a good response
Yeah.
to totally just deflect.
Well, because that's what Carton said. He said, "Have you ever seen a rat? It looks like a raccoon in this city."
That is true.
You said it might as well be a raccoon, you know. The New York City Rats paid you a little visit in Washington, D.C. not too long ago.
Oh my gosh, man. Those rats in New York smoke cigarettes. I
know.
swear. They have a
Those
cigarette
rats
hanging out of
are
their
the
mouth.
real deal.
And they have 40 ounces too. They're drinking 40 ounces and smoking cigarettes.
I know, they were talking about it on the show. They were like, you know there's rats in Citi Field. And Card was like, but
yes.
there's no rats at Yankee Stadium. He
Wow.
said that. He said nobody talks about
Flushing,
rats.
of course there are rats in Flushing. But Yankee Stadium, you know, maybe not. Maybe they don't know rats.
Maybe Yankee Stadium. They got their shit together over there in Yankee Stadium.
I remember when I was a kid, oh my gosh, I used to be so terrified because my first job was at 100 William Street.
Mm-hmm.
So in the winter, you know, the sun goes down, like by 4:30 it's dark.
Yeah.
And I used to be so scared going home sometimes that those Wall Street rats, they used to scare the hell out of me. Then one day, Ollie and I are walking down Madison Street, and we're walking and we hear something funny, and we're like, what the hell's that noise? We look, 2 garbage cans completely covered in rats. Rats all
New York
over them.
City rats.
Ollie and I
Huge
looked at
rats.
each other, we went, rats! And we ran all the way home, like we ran like 10 blocks, like not stopping running, like run Forrest, run! And the 2 of us are running so fast, we're running, and we're running. We ran all the way to like past junior high school 56 until we got like to where the hoodlums were, and we knew like it was safe because there were other people. Mm-hmm. And we're like, and people like, what the hell happened? What's wrong? We were like, we saw rats! They were rats! Covered a complete garbage can. One, I'll never forget, it was like Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like that kind of shit. Like when you just
New York
saw...
City.
Well, I mean, it was
Rats.
disgusting. Disgusting.
New York
I'll
City
never
rats
forget
are
that.
legendary. Legendary, those rats.
Yeah.
Talked about everywhere.
Man, those in Washington D.C. though, what the hell was that, man? When that rat
That rat
ran
walked
over
right
my
up to
foot.
you. Walked right up to you.
Oh,
that
I
rat.
was so pissed. I was screaming too. That rat was like making fun of me. He was like, "Look at that lady.
Walked
She thinks she's
right
so
up
bad."
to you and was like, "What's going on?" Walked
That was
right
a
up
fun
to you.
trip. We had a good
That
time.
was a good time. What do you think about Biden telling people that he's going to take away their unemployment if they don't start working? Because
I'll
the
see
job
it when I
numbers,
believe
the job
it.
numbers went down.
Yeah, because he looks like shit.
Like so
They
bad.
predicted 1 million people going back to work or 750,000, and
Yep.
it was like 250,000.
Like nobody went back to work.
Nobody wants to go
Everybody's
back to
collecting
work.
that unemployment. He said that he
Let me
was
tell you
going to
something.
track people down.
I know
To make
that
sure
there
they
are
go back to
people
work.
out there. Don't even lie. You're probably guilty. I know there are people out there that love this COVID thing,
Mm-hmm.
that hope it never ends, because they don't want to go back to work.
I know. Where's
They don't
Nibs?
want to go back to
Where
work.
is he? Nibs wants no part of COVID.
Oh, he's always like, stay home, stay safe.
Yeah,
to Presley.
he's
He doesn't want Presley to
absolutely
go
not.
back to school. I have to tell you the difference in Olivia.
Hmm.
She is, it's like so great to have my daughter back. Ever
Yep.
since she started school
I
full
know.
time
She's
in
back
March.
to being an asshole, right? Just like that.
Oh my
Like that
gosh.
guy.
How dare you?
Making
my
that-
daughter is
making
a
that,
beautiful angel.
Ruining Presley's birthday dinner last night. That's what Presley said.
She ruined your dinner?
Ruined dinner.
She did.
She
ruin
caused-
it. Don't be so
Camera.
dramatic.
She caused the scene right before dinner. The attention wasn't on her. But that's
You're
just her
supposed to
center
say,
of attention
Olivia
disorder. But
ruined my birthday dinner. New York Post article.
you could see, like, in Olivia's grades, too, since she's gone back to school, all her grades have
All
gone
A's
up.
and
Yeah.
B's. All A, like A pluses. Like, it is such a huge difference.
Yeah.
She's so happy. She's so functional. She's not. And it's like, thank God that those moms, because it was your birthday that they went to the meeting.
Yeah.
And they really went to bat and said, these kids need to be back in school. And then you had those asshole moms who were like, who cares? We should just wait till September. Why do we need to have them start school now? It's so dangerous. Really? Where's the COVID outbreak? Where are all the kids getting sick? Those kids went back to school. They're fine. And my daughter is doing better than ever. So I applaud the mothers who went and fought to get those kids back in school, because they were back in school full time at East Haven. They were back in school full time in North Branford.
Yep.
When I went down to Pensacola and we toured the schools, they were all in school, sitting next to each other, breathing all over each other, working out together. It was a crazy town in Pensacola, and nobody was all getting sick with COVID.
Yeah.
Those kids were just fine. So, you know what? Thank God that Olivia's back in school full time.
That's
You
right.
know who's having the hardest time?
Who's that?
The high schoolers.
Mm.
The high schoolers are the one because they already checked out mentally.
Yeah.
They
no
checked
doubt.
out mentally
Yeah.
a long time ago.
Please, we get the calls.
Every day
Every
I
day.
get the calls. Every day.
Your son or daughter has not been in class for the 180th
It's pretty
time in a
rude that
row.
they use son or daughter though, because like they could be non-binary.
Oh, don't
So I
start.
think it's pretty
Don't
disgusting
start.
that Brantford High School
I agree,
is
Prez. What the fuck is that?
declaring genders.
Yeah.
Well,
Where's their-
I know several non-binary students.
Alright,
What
I
if
think
they're
enough.
a boy or a girl? What if they're a man bear pig?
just stop, please.
Like, what the fuck is that?
Listen, the point is that at least Gabriel, because of all this time off and being so checked out, he's gonna hit the ground running.
Yeah.
He's starting college right
He's ready
in
to
the
go.
summer. Like it's
I'm
amazing
looking forward
the way
to his speech. I don't want to give anything away.
it's gonna be legendary.
Yes, it
It's
is.
gonna be
It could be up for a Golden Globe. This speech. I'm
It's
really
too
sad.
bad. It's too bad the foreign press now is
Yeah,
in trouble.
it's too bad that NBC isn't going to cover the speech because it really Johnny Weir should be there taking notes.
You know, I do want to mention a Brantford public school legend who just passed away.
Yes, I agree.
And
I think we should.
I do want to mention Miss Malillo, Janet Malillo,
Mhm.
was Presley's favorite teacher.
Yep.
And she was a teacher who put her heart and soul into teaching.
Yes.
And I have to say, I really love that woman. I admire her. I admire her passion.
Yep.
And I'll never forget, and when Gabriel was in the 4th grade, they did like this little show.
Mhm.
And she sang. And Dad and I remember looking at each other and we were like, this is the most amazing thing we just saw. Like, she was singing for these kids.
Yep.
And she had on a whole costume. I mean, I love that lady so much. I had so many good memories in her classroom. Like, you know, just helping out, doing the room parent thing
Yeah.
and
The turkey hat.
the turkey
I
hat.
had great memories with Miss Malillo. She wasn't even my
She
teacher. She
wasn't
was across the hall.
And you loved her,
And
right?
she was amazing. She every time I was there, she would always say hello to me. I never had her as a teacher, but even not having her as a teacher, being across the hall in Miss Iacarino's class, she would still come over all the time and talk to us and hang out with us. I remember when we did that joint breakfast thing. Remember we did the
Yes,
joint
and
Miss
Dad
Malillo
brought
and
the
Miss Iacarino.
pancakes.
Yeah, and he brought the pancakes and we had the big classroom breakfast. That was awesome, legendary.
It was. Those were some really great teachers.
Yeah.
But you know what? That was with the Higgins was
Yep.
the principal. So
Yep.
there was still a lot of flexibility allowed in the school.
Yeah.
And the teachers were allowed to teach. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's like now they just have this whole micromanaging thing going on
Yeah.
where everything's dictated from some bureaucratic asshole. And it's just, it's a
It's upsetting.
shame. It's a shame. Like I see what you know, what's going on with Olivia
Yeah.
as compared to when you were in school, and it's just like night and day. But Miss Malillo was just such a wonderful woman, and
Yeah, she was.
I know she's in heaven. I know she's in
100%,
heaven, surrounded by her
100%.
loved ones, and I hope she rests in peace and just, you know, I'll never forget her as long as I live. She's
I
just
agree.
one, and you know, it's like, and those are the teachers that you want to have a kick-ass teacher appreciation week.
Yeah.
That you want to like go balls to the wall, have like, you know, everybody send in your money,
best,
we're gonna
the
get
best,
them a
yeah.
nice gift. Like this
She
is
had a
somebody like
huge-
you really. But then you got some of those teachers, man, that it's just like you just want to slap them.
Yeah. The
I
biggest
just want to
assholes
slap
ever.
them and be like,
Worst
"You're
teachers
such a
ever.
fraud."
Yeah.
You know, I'm not kissing your ass.
Like they're in the hospital all year for their stupid knee. Like a fucking
I
little
know.
bitch.
Well, I remember when he did Miss Malillo's collection, it was like a ton of
I used
money.
to get a ton, and it's so funny
Yeah.
because with the good teachers, I always got a lot of money. I'll never forget Miss Warden, another great teacher.
Yep.
I did a collection for her. I never raised so much money. Like everything. I was like, so I went to go Clinton Crossing because I knew she liked. So I went. I got a
Yeah.
gift card to Clinton Crossing. So I was like, after Christmas, she could go take advantage of it or whatever. But you could tell there's some teachers I will never mention a name. I'd be
I think
lucky
you
if I
should
got
mention a name.
$10. I feel like I just did a collection. I didn't even get $10.
Yeah, that's
like
tough.
the people were like, they could go scratch.
Yep.
This teacher sucks. And I'm like, what the hell do I do? What do I do? You know, but she's a legend, man.
Yeah.
Like they should make an award for
I agree.
teachers
I
and name
agree.
it after her.
Or at
They-
least
yeah,
the
they
village
should
school named
designate-
after her. She really was one of the best teachers ever.
Cause she cared
She
about the whole
was.
child. She cared about
Yeah.
the soul, the education. You know?
She was great. Like we would come back from a special, then she would have like gummy bears on the desk.
Legendary teacher.
She was just fantastic. Like she cared about the kids having fun.
Yeah.
She did, and
She
she decorated her room every year, and it was a crazy decoration.
And she taught the kids about charity. Because she had a pajama drive every year. And I'll never forget when she was explaining, she goes, listen, for the pajama drive, you can't just get kids because there are a lot of homeless adults too.
Yeah.
So don't forget that there are a lot of adults who, to have a nice warm pair of pajamas for them. And I'm like, look at this teacher, even teaching charity to these kids.
She did.
She was just fantastic.
She educated the minds and hearts.
She did. I love
She should
that.
have been teaching at Notre Dame.
Well, it's good that they had one of those teachers in the public school.
I agree.
She really
was so great.
One of the best teachers ever.
I was so heartbroken. I couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
I was like literally crying the whole day thinking about Miss Millow. I was like, I can't believe, because the last time I saw her, because Olivia had her, and then the whole COVID thing happened.
Yeah.
So the last time I saw her was that crappy drive-by where like
Yeah,
we were there.
and we didn't know she was gonna be there because it was
And we didn't
Mr.
know.
But we
Right.
drove by and she was there.
And she was there and she was sitting and I was so excited. So I like blew her kisses and she blew me kisses. You know, I wish I could have given her that last hug, you know?
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
I really, it's sad. So
It is
I'm
sad.
glad that, you know, we remembered Miss Millow today because she really was something special. Like that's something that affected me this past week. It really did.
Yes.
I
no,
know,
I'm
it
glad
was so
that you
sad.
brought it up. We should definitely say those were great words for Miss Malillo. I hope that you know, she rests in peace in heaven and is happy.
I'm
And-
sure she is. I really wish they make an award or something.
I agree. I think that they need to make an award, or they need to do something for her because she really was. She made such a positive impact at that school that I
Yeah.
think that she needs to have a memory left behind her.
And she had her whole career at that school. She wasn't a school
Yeah.
hopper. She was there for her whole career
Like,
at Slimy.
They should. Who's John B? Who's John B. Slimy? Who even is that? Let's do it. Janet Malillo Elementary School.
Listen, let's
Who
not
even is John B. Slimy? Who the fuck is that guy? I don't even know who that guy is.
Maybe they can name the
Mark it
auditorium
down.
after her.
Janet Malillo Elementary School.
The
Put
Janet
it down. Put it in
Malillo
words.
Cafe-
Or
Cafeteria.
they can name the auditorium / cafeteria after her.
Yeah, do something.
The Janet Malillo
I don't even know who the
Auditorium.
hell that guy is, John B. Slimy. I don't even know who that
Are
guy
you
is.
kidding me? I did the John B. Slimy birthday party, and I don't even know who John B. Slimy is.
I know
What
you
did he
did.
even do? What did he even do, John B. Slimy?
I don't know, but he has
He
Slimy
loves horses.
Fields. Yes.
Yeah,
he
he's
has a
got
lot.
Slimy Fields. Like, where's President Scott? Brantford Little League best award
Yes.
for President Scott.
Got an
Got an
award.
award. What is it? Best business or something?
Best small business
Best
of
small
Bradford.
business in Brantford. Brantford Little League. So congrats to President Scott. I think that has to
Well,
be.
former President
Former
Scott.
President
he just
Scott.
passed the
Yes.
baton.
He did.
But let me tell you, last year he worked so hard to get those kids some kind of season.
Yep. No, I agree with you.
Despite COVID,
And it was
he
great.
Fought
Oh
tooth
my
and nail. I
gosh.
remember he went head to head with Jamie Cosgrove.
Yeah, they
I
were
had that.
upset when they said, we heard their kids playing. And he goes, yes, I checked with East Shore Health District
Yep.
and it was okay. And I want the kids to have something to look forward to get out of their house.
That's right.
And
That's
I remember
right.
he would go.
Hamlin
and he
Hernandez
had like
must
a
have shit
spray.
himself.
He had
Yeah.
like a spray thing and he would be spraying like the bleachers, spraying the bathrooms.
Yep.
Like he was, and then he'd come home and he'd be like, I have the chemicals all over me. I have to go take a shower. I just finished
He
spraying
would.
for COVID. Spraying
Yeah.
the dugouts. He was spraying everything just
Yes.
so that those kids could play and just have some kind of sense of normalcy.
Yeah.
You know, like, and that's what we need more of in our communities.
They need more in every community. They
Yeah.
need that because really, honestly, the way the country's moving and the way that these people have just are like stay inside and they give no effort, no care to anything, and we need examples like Janet Malillo and former President Scott Villa
Scott Villa
to
was
lead
fantastic.
the way for the future of the nation.
It's true.
I agree.
You know?
I agree. Mark it down. Make the right play. Podcast said it first. Janet Malillo always made the right play. President Scott making the right play with Brantford Little League.
By allowing the kids to play.
That's right.
When everybody else, lacrosse, canceled,
Football.
soccer, everybody was canceling. Olivia couldn't touch a soccer ball until we took her to another town.
Yep.
You know, Branford was just like, we're going to shut everything down and we're just going to be miserable together. And
Yeah.
Scott was the only organization that was like, no, we're doing something for these kids.
That's right. That's how you're
And
gonna
they
do
won an award. I'm so happy
it.
for him.
Yes. President Scott.
I know. We should break out the champagne
Yes, we should.
and celebrate his award.
Oh, Coach, it was wonderful doing the show today.
It was.
It was.
Great. I had an absolute pleasure today. This was a good show.
Well,
We're gonna get back on track.
I'm glad that we ended the show on a positive note.
Yes.
Talking about positive people who are making the right play and
Yeah.
doing positive things in the community.
I
you
agree.
know?
I agree. So we'll be back after it on Thursday
Yeah.
with our next second show of the week. Hopefully, it'll be a little better than last Thursday,
Oh,
and
last Thursday.
we'll have a little more
It
energy.
wasn't so
It was a long
awful.
week.
So what? Everybody has a bad show now.
Yeah.
They can't all be winners.
Well, I like to be a winner. I don't get tired of winning. So, all right. Well, thank you guys so much for those that are watching on our YouTube channel. This would be for those who are listening. You'll hear us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, whatever platform you enjoy listening to us on. We're also on Amazon. If you have the Amazon Alexa or any of those devices, just say, "Hey Alexa, play Make the Right Play,"
Really?
and it'll be playing. So we. Will
I
see
can't
you
find the
guys on
song
Thursday.
Make the
Thanks for
Red
watching.
Flag.
Oh, Alexa, you suck. Bye.